Hello and welcome to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your producer this evening, Logan Landers. And tonight we're going to be doing this very special NFL draft profile on the young man out of Oklahoma, Boomer Sooner, the defensive end known as Ronnie Perkins. And joining me as always on Wednesday evenings to film this amazing NFL draft content is the man that we like to call Mr. Football himself, Mr. Football, Vincent Turner. How you doing tonight, Vince?
God bless.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, if you guys enjoyed this video tonight, please be sure to like, comment, and share. We appreciate all that you do for us. We are also doing great numbers on our podcast as well. You can go check us out over on Spotify as well as Apple Music. Also, go check out our Instagram where you can find some clips of our shows that we upload each and every week. We'd appreciate it a whole lot. Well, Vince, we got a very talented individual come to us today that we're going to be profiling. So why don't you tell the fans at home what they can expect out of this young man that's going to go into the NFL very soon?
When you look at Ronnie Perkins, Boomer Sooner this evening, as you just said, University of Oklahoma, he might be the most underrated pass rusher in the draft. Right now, the word is that he's moving up the draft boards. And as you always know, Logan, I give a great grade report on certain players in this draft. And I like this young man out of Oklahoma, by way of St. Louis, Missouri, by way of Lutheran North High School, the same high school as one Steve Atwater went to. Great safety for the Denver Broncos, and another great football player, Bobby Joe Edmonds, that went to the University of Arkansas, Pig Sooie. But what I like about Mr. Perkins, explosive athlete, A+, explosive pass rusher, A+, never gives up on plays, tremendous motor, A+, outstanding first step as a pass rusher, A+, and most of all, solid sack production at the University of Oklahoma. When you look at his career, 96 tackles, 33 tackles for losses, 17.5 sacks in his career. But what I like about him, his production in 2020 was off the charts. Remember, he missed 6 games start of the season, and it was because of a suspension he got right before the 2019 semifinal game against LSU. But he came into this season with a lot of uncertainty. And as I said, oh my God, did he not produce 25 tackles, 11.5 tackles for losses, and as I said, 6.5 sacks in 6 games, not in 5 games. But what I like about him, when you look at this young man, he's 6'3", about 250, kind of undersized, but he's a guy, if you put about 20 more pounds on him, he's going to be a football player. Now he's game film. All you got to do, you don't have to look at no other game film on Mr. Ronnie Perkins. Go to 2020 when he played against Oklahoma State and he played against Tevin Jenkins, who a lot of people saying could go in the first round in the 2021 NFL draft as an offensive tackle, and he dominated him. He made him my man of the evening. And that's all you have to say about Ronnie Perkins. And then when you look at him, he comes from a great tradition, a great lineman at Oklahoma. Jimbo Elrod, Dewey Salmon, Leroy Salmon, Darrell Reed. The list goes on and on. And then when I look at him from a pro standpoint and who I compare him to, he got a little bit of Jimmy Gunn and Charles Weaver that played at USC in the early 70s from the defensive end position. Then Roll Tide. He reminds me a lot of Mike Pitts. Then he got a little bit of the Dallas Cowboys, Randy Gregory out of Nebraska. Then he's got that rusher proudness and getting into the quarterback with that first step. Robert Mathis, remember him out of Alabama A&M by way of the Indianapolis Colts, and Pat Swilling by way of Georgia Tech that played on those great defenses with the New Orleans Saints. And one more guy I'm going to throw in there, Jerry Hughes, who's right now playing with the Buffalo Bills, TCU. And one other guy, he reminds me of Larry English that came out of Northern Illinois. They had a nice couple of seasons with the San Diego Chargers. When you're talking about a guy you want to get after the passer, this man right here, Ronnie Perkins, Boomer Sooner, University of Oklahoma, might be your man in the 2021 NFL draft.
This guy is definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with in the NFL, I think, Vincent. Like you said, you gave the great grade report. He's got all the intangibles you want. He's went up against some of the best offensive tackles that are coming into this draft, like you mentioned with Tevin Jenkins. And that proves to me that if he can go up against those guys who are, already NFL ready, it's going to be amazing to see what he does in the NFL.
Now, Logan, I don't mean to cut you off, but you need to tell the people out there that you was high on Tevin Jenkins out of Oklahoma State about a month ago. And if you go to the game film, he dominated your boy one-on-one in matchups. Hey, I'm just trying to put you on the spot.
Hey,
But you
it's
won't
all good.
count Tevin Jenkins.
Hey, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I still am high on very much so on Tevin Jenkins. You can always go check out that video we did a little bit ago. But I think this young man, even though he had a bad game, there's a lot of guys that are going to have bad games. Now, Tevin Jenkins, he's not going to be excluded. And Ronnie Perkins is a heck of a ball player. So if you want to lose to anybody, why not lose to Ronnie Perkins, who's going to be a threat in the NFL? And now, Vince, you know how I like to do things. I'll just give my three teams who I think this young man will be a great fit for. No particular order. Also, be sure to leave your comments if you think that he wants to go to your team or if you think that you agree with my picks. I'm always going to be willing to have a nice little banter with you about this. So the first team I have this young man headed to is the defending Super Bowl champions. Bolster up that D-line even more for the future. Stack it up, the Tampa Bay Bucks. Man, could you imagine if they got this guy as a late first-round pick? Whew, man, they'd be set for a while down there in Tampa. I know they got Tom Brady and everything, but let's not deny everything. That defense really helped them get that Super Bowl championship. There's no doubt about that. They pressured Patrick Mahomes seemingly every single play. And if they can get Ronnie Perkins, we'll see how many more they can collect in the near future. My second team, a team that is near and dear to your heart, Vincent, the Dallas Cowboys. Man, wouldn't he look good wearing that star on his helmet? I think so. I put that one in there especially for you. I think that the Cowboys, if they can get this young man, if they can steal him from a team, man, he would do wonders out there. Like you said, you mentioned Randy Gregory when you were bringing up your grade report, who he reminds you of. Well, why not get him on the team that Randy Gregory balled out for? And finally, my third team, the Legion of Boom, the former Legion of Boom. They need a little bit of help on that defense, man. I think Ronnie Perkins could really help out the Seattle Seahawks. Their defense has been withering the last couple of seasons. They have a little bit of issues with the offensive line as well. But if you can get that dominant defense that really helped them get those championship all those years ago, I think Ronnie Perkins would be a great fit. All these guys run a 4-3 scheme defense, which is what Perkins is used to at Oklahoma. So if you can get him in any of those three schemes, I think that he would be a great player regardless of whatever one he goes to. But if I had to pick one, Vincent, I'm going to give you a little bit of love tonight. I think he would look perfect in that Dallas Cowboys uniform in the NFL draft. So like I said, leave a comment if you think, if you agree with my picks or if you have your own opinions. I'm always willing to talk with you about this. So Vince, give me your final thoughts on Mr. Ronnie Perkins.
I like the young man. I think he's probably, when you're looking at the draft, which is only, about 3 weeks away, this guy's going to keep moving up. Because the one thing in the National Football League, you can't have enough people who can get after the quarterback. And I like your pick with the Dallas Cowboys. Would he look good with DeMarcus Lawrence and Randy Gregory? Woo-wee. That'll be something nice in Dallas. And then also with Seattle, another good pick, a team that needs a lot of help on the D side of the ball, especially in the D line. They haven't had guys to get out the passer since their Super Bowl season when they had Cliff Abel, Bruce Irvin, Michael Bennett. He would sure look like a guy that Mr. Pete Carroll would love to have on the squad. But my final words about Ronnie Perkins, he's in a long line of great players that's played at the University of Oklahoma, especially from the defensive side of the ball. And like I said, I love him. And it's just like the great Janet Jackson. She had a song, Go Deep. Ronnie Perkins is going to go deep. Whoever drafts him in the 2020 NFL draft, he's going to go deep with production. And one thing, Logan, that you know and I know, the National Football League, you got to have somebody to get after the passer. And when you look at Mr. Perkins, the film don't lie. As I said in my grade report, solid sack production. 17.5 sacks in 3 years. This year in 6 games, 6.5 sacks. This is a young man that can get after the quarterback. Boomer, Sooner, University of Oklahoma. Thank you.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see how many sacks he's going to be able to average in the NFL because, like you said, you just mentioned his numbers at Oklahoma, which isn't a powder puff school by any means. They play some tough opponents. But I think if this guy can go into any of those systems in the NFL that I mentioned, whether it is the Buccaneers, the Cowboys, or the Seahawks, and if he can rack up around those 7 to maybe potentially 9, maybe even get a double-digit year in sacks, man, this guy's going to be around for a long time as long as he stays healthy, and he's going to be one of the most dominant pass rushers in the NFL in a few years. We'll have to see, though, but he's got a lot of hype around him, and we'll see if it'll pay off. Well, if you guys have enjoyed this video here tonight, please be sure to like, comment, and share. We appreciate all the love that you've been giving us over the past couple of weeks, months, and years here on 100 Yards of Football. Be sure to go check out our podcast as well. You go check us out on Spotify. Just type in 100 Yards of Football. You'll see our logo right there on the 50-yard line. Or if you prefer Apple Podcasts, we're also available on that platform as well. Same thing, type in 100 Yards of Football. You're going to see all of our previous draft profile videos that we've done. The Tevin Jenkins video, which we mentioned earlier in the podcast, is up there as well. You can see all of our great legend interview that former 1981 first-round pick by the Atlanta Falcons, Bobby Butler, does each and every week with some of the greatest legends from the sport of football, whether it's coaches, former players, or just anyone from around the world of football. We got them on the show, so please go check those out. Any of the game previews we've done in the past, see if we got the scores right, and just go show us some love over there. We've been doing great over there, and we appreciate all the love and support. Well, for my man, Mr. Football, Vincent Turner, I've been your producer tonight, Logan Landers. We'll see you soon in another great video right here on 100 Yards of Football.